Hello girls and boys, how's it going? So unless you've been living under a rock, you know by now that the greatest thing since sliced bread, ChatGPT-5, had just got released. I heard one of the interviews in which Sam Altman is saying that think of ChatGPT-5 as all PhDs on everything ever.
But with GPT-5, now it's like talking to an expert, a legitimate PhD level expert in anything, any area you need, on demand, that can help you with whatever your goals are.
Now, I don't know if that is such good news. I happen to know a couple of PhDs and they tend to overcomplicate things in a lot of time. You know what I'm talking about. So I've had the opportunity to play with ChatGPT for about 24 hours now. This is a quick video, my honest reaction on what's cool, what's not so cool, what does it mean if you're a DevOps, cloud, platform, software engineer. Overall, what does this mean for you? And then most importantly, I want to talk about how to start thinking about AI. Because every week, some new model comes, something else pops up, and that is the greatest thing that ever happened for humankind. So how do you adopt every week, every 2 weeks? How the heck can you upskill so much? Karna kya hai? I'll talk about that. So stick to the end. It's a short one. It's a quick one. But it's power packed as always. So let's get into it. So what is good and not so cool and cool in ChatGPT? The coolest thing is even if you are a free tier user of ChatGPT, you get access to GPT-5, which is very cool because you don't have to pay to use the latest and greatest release. Of course, it comes with some caveats. I think there are about 10 odd requests you can use per day on the fastest version of GPT-5, and then beyond that you move to a not so fast version of GPT-5, whatever that means. But at least you get to use it, at least you get to try it. That's very cool. Another cool thing which they are shouting from rooftops is that hey, now ChatGPT can automatically invoke the right model based on the kind of query that you fire. What does it mean? So if you use ChatGPT until 5.0 came out, you would drop down and there were different models, 4.0, 04, 3.0, 03, some 10 of them. Some of them are good for advanced reasoning, some of them are fast for advanced reasoning, a whole lot of things. And till now, till before the release of GPT-5, you had to manually go in and select the model and then put in your queries. I always found that very dumb. If you are so smart to give me answers of everything, why are you not so smart to figure out what right model to use? I think Sam Uncle listened and he's now fixed that. So depending on what your query is, whether it needs a quick resolution, a simple question, it will pick up the model. If it needs deep reasoning, deep research, it will automatically switch the model to the right one and do it. I always found this very, very obvious. Why not done? But they've done it now. One thing which I found definitely, which is very cool, is the speed at which it works. Now, everybody is talking about vibe coding. I have been very tired of vibe waiting. You put in something and then you wait, you dwindle your thumbs. It is doing something. It is scary even to look at, especially if you've asked it to create an application, to write some code. It writes code so fast, you can't even read and you're worried what the heck is it doing. You don't know until everything completes and then you can have a look. That is a very pressurizing situation. That has decreased drastically now. You can look at videos where it was taking a minute or minute and a half in 4.0 models. Now it is taking 30 to 50% lesser time with better output. So more speed is definitely something that I'm excited about. Another thing which I found is the improved writing. Now we all have seen those LinkedIn posts which smell of ChatGPT. You read 2 lines and you know, arey yaar, not again. But with GPT-5, it's got a very good flair of writing. And because I've been using ChatGPT for a while, especially for some of the content, I use it as an ideation engine as well. So it knows my style of writing. And now the responses from GPT-5 are pretty close to the way I would have written it. They are no more robotic. Also, another good thing I found is it is very good at giving analogies. So this happened, and you can ask it to give it analogies like you could earlier do explain it to a 5-year-old kid, but now you can say, hey, explain to me quantum computing and compare it to cooking. And it's very cool at giving those examples. It's something you should definitely try about. Ask it something and ask it to compare it or help me understand it via something completely different. Try this. Ask it to explain auto scaling in AWS and compare it to carpentry. See what the output is? Let me know in the comments. Very cool answers I got for that. So what does this mean if you are a DevOps engineer, a cloud engineer, a platform engineer, a software developer, right? Now, most of the examples that you would see being done on ChatGPT-5, everybody is creating a Tetris or a simple game, this, that. Very, very cool, I agree. But most of that is just front-end code, right? Now, an enterprise app is very, very different from front-end coding. Now, absolutely cool to be able to generate front-end code in a matter of minutes. Front-end engineers are definitely thinking, what the heck? But you realize that this is only front-end. Those things are typically not getting stored anywhere. If you were on GPT-4, you would probably link in a Supabase as a database or somewhere else, and that's how you would create a fully functional app. In enterprise applications, there is a little more to think about. There is a backend, of course. There is caching. There is CDN. There is then how to deploy the damn thing. Then there is security. There is networking. There is scaling. Then it is support. Things that you and me do on a daily basis, which keeps our jobs alive. All of this cannot be done by GPT-5 yet. Will GPT-10, will GPT-15 be able to do it? Only time will tell, my friends. But it's headed in that direction. We can see that. Front-end code solved today. When I say solved, it's pretty decent in writing front-end code. Of course, I wouldn't compare that code with a seasoned front-end developer. That's a different ballgame, but it's getting there. How long before it gets to all of these stages that I described? Who knows? 2.5 years back, we didn't even know there was something called ChatGPT. And look, just version 5, look where we are. So let's wait for ChatGPT 9, 10, 11, and we'll see how it goes. So now, if you're getting a little bit scared, let me tell you how to start thinking about AI now. How not to get too bogged down by ChatGPT-5 आ गया, 7 आ गया, Anthropic का नया मॉडल आ गया, इसका ये हो गया. How to stay away from all that noise and how to focus yourself. Only one mantra if you can remember from this video, and that is start adopting an AI first outlook in everything that you do now. What do I mean by that? When you are ideating something, means when you're thinking about something, in your mind get the idea, validate it with AI. Whether it is ChatGPT, Anthropic, Claude, whatever it is, doesn't matter. But use it as a brainstorming thing, as an ideation engine. Second, obviously when you're coding, either write your code, ask ChatGPT to optimize it, or get the first version written, then move through it, whatever works for you. So you just use it for ideation, use it for writing code. If you are into research a little bit, if you are creating point of views, pre-sales kind of thing, AI is great. Start with AI. So make an AI first approach in whatever you're doing. If you're trying to explain to your kid and help them do maths homework, try AI. Like the day before yesterday, my sister's kid, he had an issue solving some fractional sums, and he's in the Waldorf method. I couldn't understand that, so I asked ChatGPT, hey, this is the sum that we want to solve. This is what it's called. Explain it like you were a Waldorf teacher, and it explained it very beautifully. Then if you are designing something, let's say you want to rearrange your room, take pictures of the room, take furniture, AI can very beautifully simulate the entire room for you if you want to redesign that. We recently did that when we want to just move things around in the drawing room, and we had a couple of furniture thinking, will this look good here? Will this look good here? Used AI. It was very cool project. If you are planning a birthday party for your kid, use ChatGPT to figure out, or use AI to figure out what new games can you do. Musical chairs and all that doesn't work anymore. You need more creative games for these kids. Also, recently I used AI to come up with new dinner recipes. I said, hey, these are the 3-4 ingredients that I have at home. These are the couple of oriental sauces I have at home. I want a pan Asian cuisine from these ingredients in the style of young man cooking. It's a Canadian guy. I really love his cooking. So in his style, these ingredients create a recipe. Worked beautifully well. So what I'm saying is, use ChatGPT first, or use AI first approach for anything that you're doing under the sun. Whether work, whether home, whether entertainment. Try that for a while. It'll get you into the right. Now, one caveat here, a line which I read somewhere and I resonated very deeply. It said, use AI as an assistant, as a colleague, as an apprentice, not as your boss. What does it mean? It means use AI to bounce off ideas, to validate something, to look at something from a completely new perspective. By all means, do that like you would do with a friend. But don't treat it like a boss where whatever output it gives, you blindly copy it and start working. Don't do that. I thought that was a fantastic way of thinking about it. Hope this video made sense. I'll see you in the next one.